When can we have an English one?
Okay, this is a quick introduction. Say hello, Stats.
Hello, hope we're all well. Thanks for tuning in.
And a quick hello from Gazelle.
Good evening, everybody. Once again, here we are again.
And indeed, from the absolutely fabulous host. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, let's get...
Hang on, who's he thanking then?
That's what we're waiting for.
I'm thanking all three of our viewers. Thank you.
They just switched off.
We're going to kick off straight away. Tommy Robinson. 1st of February. Unite the Kingdom. What did everybody think about that? I mean, there was a lot of them. No trouble.
I was going to say, that's the first question, that. How many were there? I've not seen any figures or anything yet.
Well, it looked, I think the figures that I saw was between 80 and 100,000.
Yeah, that's about the going rate, isn't it?
The going rate? What are you, a currency expert?
They've had about 3 or 4, haven't they? And certainly 2. And they've been the same. Very, very well turned out, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. And
it shows you there's a massive feeling for backing him.
Oh, yeah. They want him out. And we were talking about this earlier in a private conversation between me and Stats, because we couldn't get on with you. We couldn't get you on the phone, you know. But we were saying, you know, is it because they're talking about releasing him from solitary confinement, and he's been in there for a while. Stats, you know, obviously you know all about solitary confinement. You're Republican.
I've been married, you know. I've been married.
No, he's trapped.
I was going to say, you've been married. You should know more about this than me. Anyway.
Oh, we've got
sorry
freedom.
To the wives.
We've got real freedom. Tell you about it. Tell me. I mean, I thoroughly love marriage.
Yeah.
Does it love you? Yeah, well, let's look at what he's been subjected to. There was some stuff on his social media. Yeah, I'll read this. 3 months in solitary, obviously for a non-crime. I mean, come on. I mean, look, I know he put himself in jail, but he did it for a reason. He wanted to expose the corrupt judiciary and the system, and he knew the consequences.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That takes a brave man to know he's going to get put in jail, but he wants to stick to his morals of the truth and, you know, finding out the truth and doing the right thing. I mean, for non-crime, I mean, I've looked back, I can't find a case where someone's been put in jail for contempt of cause. It's probably going back a long time. Violations of 3 European human rights laws. Now, it's funny, isn't it? Let's say if it was Jeremy Corbyn or someone, right? Even I'd defend that. I wouldn't have him put in jail for it, for a contempt, for showing a video which clearly exposes the establishment.
And just reverse that, not one of them has ever come out to defend Tommy Robinson.
No, but if it was someone like Corbyn, they'd be falling over themselves to get outside that jail.
Yeah.
The lefties would be probably knocking number 10 door down. Imagine if it was someone from the Muslim Council of Britain. Oh my God. Imagine the reaction to that.
What?
Yeah, in London on Saturday, there was an event where they sung songs and danced to the YMCA and then cleaned up all the rubbish after they left. I mean, these Nazis, Jesus. Do you know what I mean?
Aren't they?
Anyway, back to
they don't like to leave a mess, you know.
Yeah, back to the serious point, though. It's the
and
mental
you look
torture.
at those shit heaps in their areas, and you look at what it's like. I mean, you know, the rubbish on the streets. I mean, that is just like, it's third world. It is third world. And if anybody wants to challenge on it, we can provide pictures of it. We can show it.
No, we've got videos of all that. Yeah, well, back to this. So I think one of the worst things is
we've got pictures of third world in Cheshire, Western Cheshire.
We have,
as well, without a shadow of a doubt.
We'll come back to that,
in my back passage.
You're not the only one, mate. It's round here, mate. The place is a dump. But anyway, yeah, I think that one of the most important things here is the severe mental torture. You can't be put on solitary for 3 months with another 5-6 months to go. Come on, I'm not having it. Apparently, Tommy repeatedly raised mental health concerns, but has received no visit from mental health teams. So they bang on about mental health non-stop. Yeah, as we found out in this podcast and lots of others we've done, they're just rubbish at implementing any of this.
Oh, yeah.
So he's had 3 visits cancelled last week. I believe Paul Thorpe was actually told he couldn't visit him.
Yeah, he was cancelled as well.
2 more stay out of 3, possibly all 3. And the worst thing is that they've blocked his son's phone number from contact.
Yeah.
So he's literally being left. He's being punished because he made a mockery of the system. And he proved that case against the Syrian kid was a fraud.
I put a post up on X and I asked, why is this man being persecuted? And, quite a few of the lefties turn around and say, because he broke the law. He broke the law.
Sorry.
He did this. He did that. And you think to yourself, no, right?
I'm sorry, John.
These people are just sick asses. They really, really do need to get a life. Okay, he broke the law, right? What about the rapist that was let out? And he was given community service because he didn't know that culturally it didn't fit in with British values and British law. I mean, what the hell is all that about?
I don't know, John, but when you think about it, right? I mean, what has he actually done that's so bad? We all know people that you might meet in the pub who are lovable rogues. They might have a bit of a checkered past, let's say.
Yeah.
Some of them have probably done a lot worse than what Tommy's done, but Tommy's done a lot of his stuff with the right intentions. All right, he's mucked up and he's been a bit naive sometimes, hasn't he, with some of the things he's done. But back when he was younger, that probably was the only way a working class lad knew how to fight back when cornered. But he's trying to turn a corner. He's trying to do the journalism thing, but he won't let this go, will he?
No,
at the end of the day, if
he's
they
done
weren't
a good
such
job as well.
If they weren't such failures, John, there wouldn't be any Tommy Robinson. We wouldn't be having this conversation, and maybe we wouldn't have half the problems we've got. So it's on them, really. But
absolutely, with a judiciary that everybody knows in this country has been politicized. Even in America, they're saying it. They're talking about human rights abuses in other parts of the world, and I think Trump is starting to realize that there are human rights abuses going on in this country. I know Elon Musk has already recognized it because he's already said free Tommy, and that he's going to fund some of his legal actions. So, it's getting to the point whereby they're going to have to realize Starmer and the rest of his sham administration, they are going to have to realize that they are totally outgunned by the Americans.
Well, the point is, when's he due out? He's due out in, is it March or April?
That's a bit longer than that. He got 18 months, so he's going to do about 9. Yeah, it's going to be the summer.
Yeah, but when he comes out, they're waiting for him again, aren't they, on another charge of terrorism, isn't it?
Yeah, but watch what they'll do. Now, normally, when you give them the sentences, they all run at the same time, don't they?
Yeah.
But you watch what happens. I've just got this funny feeling that they're going to delay this and delay it till he's just about to come out, and then you're going to get another 6 months for that. I think Paul Golding got a few months for it. Same thing. Wouldn't unlock his phone coming through customs. Didn't need to. They held him under the terrorism law, and he refused. So,
well, I think it's going to become a little bit too obvious to our most powerful trading partner that Starmer is not a man to be trusted. And if he's going to allow this sort of thing to go on, I mean, even people like Tucker Carlson are commenting on it. I mean, he had that. I mean, I don't like the guy, Piers Morgan. I think he's an overrated twat, to be honest with you. Right. But
just another sensationalist.
Yeah, he is. But he was on there and he basically said, you won the war for what? And Piers Morgan turned around and he said, well, we're not conducting this interview in German. And he went, you won the war for what? What have you won? You're losing your freedoms. And the guy is absolutely right. We are losing our freedoms. They're being eroded day by day like a cancer by this dollar store Democrat called Keir Starmer. And I don't know what we're going to be able to do about it. In the meantime, I'm just hoping that Trump absolutely cripples this government and indeed puts the tariffs on them and makes Rachel Reeves, Rachel from Accounts, makes her look like an idiot because they are totally out of their depth.
Shouldn't be hard to make her look like an idiot. She's doing a good job herself.
Oh, yes. But I mean, be honest. Be honest. Are we having
They are
our
out of the depths,
freedoms
aren't they?
eroded?
They are out of the depths. If you look at I can't remember a time, but when I see them on TV and things like that, and I have no respect for any of them.
No.
They just don't have an air of authority.
No.
They don't sort of make me want to listen to what they're saying. You know, I just can't. When that Starmer comes on, I just have to look away. I just have to get away from it.
And he's had lessons.
Oh, well, I mean, I've said this
Acting
many a time.
lessons.
I'm sick of going on. I go on YouTube and Starmer's gone. Starmer will be gone by the weekend. Starmer will be gone. Starmer's going nowhere. Tell you what, I can't see him. Everything just bounces off. He's worse than Teflon Tony Blair.
No, he's just sticking it. He just knows. I bet the pressure behind the scenes is ginormous. I bet you that number 10 Downing Street is like a mausoleum where morale is concerned. Morale is just like
that West Streeton's moving in the background.
Should I do it like that? You know, like that sign. My heart goes out to you. Or like my heart goes out to you.
Can't do that. You can't do that.
Who says you can't do it?
Can't do it.
Cry baby lefties. Hitler, if you do anything with your arms. Hitler had a dog, you Hitler. You like painting, you're a painter, you Hitler.
Yeah.
God.
Right.
Now, when we look at Starmer, like he's got a problem here. Because he stood up and gave this speech where he said, I've found something that's done by design, this mass immigration, and I'm going to fix it. And then he's decided to, I know, the only law that'll help us to fix it, we're going to get rid of. And then I've just seen that the EU are now saying, it's all right, you can just get rid of all your migrants.
Yeah.
So he wants closer alignment, does he? Well, chop them, mate.
Yeah, they're relaxing those laws. They now realize that it's a big problem. And one of the things I think the reason why they're relaxing those laws, where the asylum seekers are concerned, is because they are frightened of Trump.
It's the AFD as well. It's the right wing parties. They want to stop them in the tracks. So the only way to do that is to implement what? Similar policies, or pretend you're going to do it when you know really are.
Absolutely.
I was doing a little bit of research today over at Mally's, and Mally brought up a good point. Like,
what kind of research were you doing?
I don't want to go into the research side of it, but what we started discussing was, we can't do this when they come over in the dinges and they've not got any documentation with them and all that lot. And when you actually, if you Google all that documentation, it keeps taking you away from not documented to asylum seeking. When you're trying to get information, what Mally was saying, which is a good point what he brought up, is that when they're in France, they're left at the side. They're in that ghetto next to the docks and the thing is they're all there in tents. They're in that whatever it is, that structure of tents and just squalor, and they come over here and they get housing, they get hotels, they get
everything.
So why don't we just give them tents?
Yeah,
and keep them down somewhere just off the coast at Dover or something. Just give them tents and leave them there if they've not got any documentation. Why don't we do what France is doing?
Rupert Lowe's got the right idea. Detain and deport.
Detain and deport.
And I'm telling you now, Mark had muted himself and he was talking in the background and your picture didn't come up, Mark, so don't worry about it. It isn't going to show.
It's all right. No, you should put them tents on top of the dinghies and send them back. Yeah. There you go. Don't get wet on the way back from above,
I mean, that's
what's the matter with you? You're a bit too tense.
That's a valid question, that. Why don't we do the same as France?
Yeah.
Why have we got to? Why have we got?
We haven't got to do anything.
But just give them a ghetto here. If they land here, there's your tent.
Nah, they're not coming. Look, the Conservatives put a law in the immigration bill in 2023 which said you can't come here by any illegal means. So when they do, you say, bye.
Yeah.
And take them back. It's that simple. Trump's got the army on the border. So, I mean, maybe we need to man up a bit.
Well, there we go.
Oh,
You know,
God.
they've got big butch men going in with weapons and stuff, right? And we've got these little people who look like police with no guns and stuff in an immigration van. They get surrounded by a mob and then they cave in and go, okay, we'll let them go. Honestly, Wet Wipe Island, this is run by cocks. Yeah.
Well, it is, isn't it? I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, I don't know the answer to that. Why don't we do what they do in France? I mean, you're legally entitled to do that.
Yes.
You must be able to because they're doing it in France.
They're coming
In Germany,
they're coming over illegally. So,
well, in Germany, like I say, I did a bit of research today, and it says if you're undocumented, you get absolutely minimum hospital treatment because obviously it's different over there. It's all insurance things and that, insurance policies, and they just get fed and that's it. They don't get housed. They don't get anything like that if they're not documented. Well, and all these ones that are coming into England throw the documents away.
Yep. And the laws and the legislation surrounding that is being relaxed so that they can actually seek citizenship. They're fast tracking them. They're buying votes. That's all it is.
They're buying votes. Yeah, took the words out of my mouth there. That's obvious what they're doing there, isn't it?
Yeah, nobody can trust.
They're only going to vote for Labour.
Yeah, nobody can trust any Labour MP in this country at all because they are all supporting a regime which is eroding your civil rights. They are crashing down on you financially, and they're going to make your life a lot more miserable. I can't see anybody agreeing, say, do you think Labour are making you happier by the day? Can you see anybody actually saying yes to that?
You know what? Somebody put up a post the other day that I was reading, a friend of mine, I'm not going to mention his name. And he said, I've been working, I go out working, and he does, I think he works in a warehouse, doing warehousing and that, which is, you know, a valued job. And he said, I've just paid my bills for the month. I've just gone through it all now, paid it all, and I've got £100 left.
Jesus.
To spend for the month. That's all I've got left. And this bloke said, well, really, with hindsight, you should have sort of kept on and gone into further education and that way you might have more money. I went, what? Fancy saying that to him? The bloke's out working every day.
Yeah.
Trying to make a living. And because of this, it's this country. It's nothing else. It's not him.
It's this country. There's no two ways about it.
He's working. He goes out every day. He works every day.
I'll call it as it is, okay? Everybody knows what I am as a musician. Everybody knows. I mean, I distribute music to about 80 countries, okay? But I'm not qualified to teach music in a classroom of kids. Now, I'll say it straight out. There isn't a teacher that's qualified in this country that knows more about music than me. And I could
That's strange, Sean. That's strange because I thought you would have been the top candidate. Because if you look at that, the air thing in America where the plane crashed and one of them's interviewing one of the top bosses. And he's got no experience of anything to do with flying planes, fixing them or nothing.
Nothing.
I'm thinking it was Ted Cruz or someone sat there going, sorry, what? He goes, I wouldn't get the job because I know nothing about it. How have you got it? Yeah. So maybe Trump was a little bit right with what he said about DEI.
Well, I'm calling it in this country. I'm telling you, right? The curriculum in the schools is full of shit. It's one of the main reasons why, right, we are not getting ahead.
Just another failed institution.
It is. It's another failed institution. And also, I mean, what are these kids going to learn from somebody who's teaching in a class with a whole bunch of cheap keyboards, right, how to play with one hand the whole of the Mountain King? I mean, you know, how is that going to improve them? They need inspiration, these kids. They need to know about the technology that's going on. They need somebody that can actually do something and play the instruments. But no, we've got these people who are saying, oh no, these people are academics. They're qualified teacher status. They know how to do this. Full of shit. Absolutely. And any music teacher in Cheshire or beyond that wants to call me on it, I'd be quite willing to show them up. And I think it's the same with other people, you know, who are brilliant mathematicians, but yet they'll never get any further in anything unless they're qualified. There's another friend of ours I know, he's doing a PhD. He has to have a PhD in order to actually go further in a particular field. This education system in this country is full of shit. And also, right, they're allowing Eton and Oxbridge and Oxford and Cambridge, they're allowing them to actually dumb down the examinations so that they can meet DEI standards. What the hell is all that about?
Well, that's exactly the same as what Trump said.
DEI is just a method of racism against the white person. That's all it is, as far as I'm concerned. That's all it is. And they're paying some of these people more than people who are qualified in certain jobs in the government. I mean, what the hell is all that about? Sorry, Mark, go ahead. I'm on a high horse.
Again, is it meritocracy?
I need to be because of my size.
Yeah, is it meritocracy or whatever it's called? It's got to be, can't it just be the best person for the job? Say, for instance, you all go for an interview and they looked at your CV and they're like, well, he's done a lot of music stuff there, him. He hasn't done that much, but he's got a piece of paper. Wouldn't you then maybe say, okay, well, let's take who we think of, say, the best 5 candidates, and we'll give them a test and we'll stick them in a room with a load of kids and we'll say, right, teach kids music and see which one makes the kids look the happiest, the ones who get the most involved, and then see then ask the kids afterwards, what did you enjoy about that? What have you learned? See what they can show you. They've just been taught.
Well, I'm going to say
job gets the job.
I'm going to say it straight out. I'm going to say it straight out. Any music teacher in the whole of this country, right, that actually wants to challenge me on that, fine. Anybody that's teaching in a secondary school, challenge me and I'll show you up in front of all your school and your friends, okay, and your peers.
It's not just music, though, is it?
It isn't just music.
You've got these fake British values. You've got all these dumb ideologies being rammed down kids' throats, no matter what the consequences. And do you know what? People moan when it's like, oh, they've got rid of Shakespeare and swapped it. Tell you what, right, let's get rid of all that old crap and let's read stuff like George Orwell and stuff that's actually relevant now.
To now.
Get all the old stuff now. It's gone, it's done, it's finished. Yeah, it's nice. We can study it a little bit, but don't make half the English about it. Let's learn what we're doing now. Let's teach kids to make money rather than being slaves. Well, let's teach them how to better themselves.
I've always said this.
Sorry, go on, Trev.
I've always said this. Right, you sparked something there, Matt. I've always said this. When we go to a secondary school, I did, and
I thought it was Borstal that you came out of.
No, that was not recommended. What's it called? Approved. That's it. Now, what happens is when we go to school, we give them the bog standard curriculum and all this. Like, when you Cambridge and Oxford, they're taught how to make money.
Yes.
They're taught about the shares, they're taught about the stocks, they're taught about finance.
Indeed.
We're not. Why are we always the bottom of the plebs? They keep the plebs down. Yeah. That's what they do, and that's within the curriculum.
They don't want the
that's
plebs
the point
to have the money,
I'm making.
Well, they can't have everybody, can they, all at the same level? Can they all make money? Nobody would make it. It wouldn't be there. You wouldn't have the rich, would you? You wouldn't have this and that.
I don't know. If everyone was rich, they'd spend more, wouldn't they?
Well.
Okay, well, I'm going to start calling it there.
Not been tested, boy.
Okay.
I want to bring up this. Did you hear about just get on a lighter note to try and... Because this is...
Oh, please. Go on. Give us a lighter note.
There's not a lot going on, is there, that's light-hearted. But today, there was the story about have you heard about the try and ban the cats in Scotland? Did you hear that this morning? Yeah. They're trying to... Because apparently these cats are going out and they're killing mice, they're killing rats, they're killing birds, obviously they're killing birds. But put a bell on it, right? And they're on about, well, they're going to ban them, or you have to take them out on leads. You
take a cat out on lead?
Yeah, you've got to take a cat out on a lead. You can't let the cat out because what it's doing, apparently, it's getting all these, which it is, it's all right, I might get the birds, which it do. I can't see a cat killing rats. I mean, if it's killing mice, then what's the problem with that? That's its job. That's what it does.
Yeah,
it gets rid of the vermin. And lizards, they're on about reptiles and all that lot. And I said, that's a big problem because, if they do go out doing that, we're going to end up, certainly in Scotland, with a massive problem with erectile dysfunction. Now, that's the first thing I thought of. And imagine Jimmy going down the pub. Jimmy, coming down, watch the Rangers. Yeah, I'll follow you on. The wife said I've got to take the cat for a walk. Imagine that happening.
No, it makes you laugh because they wanted to introduce wolves back into Scotland. What are you doing?
What are you thinking?
We'll have wolves, we'll get rid of the cats. Wow.
Okay, take it easy.